making a little over $10,500 in 45 days. Guys, I realized I never broke down how me and my partner got our first wholesale deal, so I was like, now is the time. But before we start, make sure you guys go hit that like button, go subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you guys do not know who I am, my name is Stephanie Kabidi. I'm a realtor as well as real estate investor out in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. If you guys want to join me along for my real estate investing journey, make sure you guys click that bell button so you guys never miss an upload. I'm coming back with full-on bangers, guys. We are locking up deals left and right, finishing up this novation. And if you guys have not seen what's going on with this creative financing novation deal, make sure you guys click this button up here and you guys can see part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 of what's been going on. Since that has all been said, let's get right into the video. I'm super excited to break down how we got our first wholesale deal, and it's exciting, so let's get right into it. So first and foremost, what kind of deal was this? Like, how did we get the lead? What type of lead was this? Let's break it all down. So it was not a cold call lead. It was not an SMS texting campaign. It was not RVM. It was not a Craigslist lead or a Zillow lead or for sale by owner. So this lead actually came from probates. And it's crazy. So my mentor, whenever I, started, working with him and he was breaking stuff down, saying what I needed to do and, what not to do within the wholesaling business, he was like, you have to focus on probates. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And, I would go onto the county records to look up the probates and stuff like that, people that have recently passed away. And I would write down everything into a Google spreadsheet. And guys, it took a lot of time. Me doing it myself, it took a lot of time. But during that, time when I was doing it, I also had time because I was mainly focused on real estate and I didn't have any deals going for me at the time. I'm saying time a lot, but you guys get the picture. So I was doing that, adding all the leads, the probate leads into the database and then sending them a letter. And the crazy thing is, I was doing it completely wrong. When I was going in there, adding the leads to the database, I was telling my mentor I was doing it this way and he was like, why are you doing it that way? Like you're messing yourself up. So I was sending the letters to the deceased person's house, where you should not be doing that. You want to send it to the personal representative's house. And after I changed that, because I was doing it wrong for like the first 2 weeks, and he was like, why aren't you getting any deals? You're sending them out and stuff. And I was telling him the way I was doing it, and he was like, all right, you got to do it this way to the personal representative. So, I'm sending letters, everything like that. And then, we get a call. And it was a call to me, but we had both of our numbers on there, me and Skylar's number, and someone left a voicemail. So I get my phone, I listen to the voicemail. They're like, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. We're looking to actually sell this property. We saw you sent a letter and everything like that. And after I heard that voicemail, I was like, calling them back and stuff, because that's exciting. And he was, once I called him back, he was explaining more information about the property, how his father has passed away and stuff like that. And they just no longer want to deal with the property. And then, so I was, first thing is I scheduled that appointment. I was like, would you be available, this time, this day, blah, blah, blah. He was like, yes. So Skylar wasn't available to do the appointment, so I did the appointment. And I don't think on the first initial call, I don't think he told me a price. I think they were still thinking about a price. And then we went down there. I saw the property. It was a modular home, like a mobile home, but it's crazy because this property had a basement, and typically mobile homes don't have a basement. So this one was kind of unique, but perfect thing is this property was in a fantastic neighborhood. Like I knew where this property was, everything like that. Perfect A1 neighborhood. So that's great because location is everything. They say location, location, location in real estate. So we went to the property, a couple days later. I told him, I was like, I went up and I, introduced myself, everything like that. Hey, how is everything? How's everything going? Blah, blah, blah. And then I told him, I was like, my partner is actually at work right now. Would it be okay if I took pictures so I could show him, once he gets off and stuff like that? And they were kind of contemplating, because I guess it's, their father's personal belongings. And I told them, just so, you don't have to come back out. We don't have to come back out to the property again and stuff like that. So it took a little bit, but they're like, yeah, you know what, go ahead, take pictures and stuff. So got that out of the way, was, taking pictures as we were walking through the property. And this property needed some work, and you could see that he had a lot of stuff in it. I'll put some pictures up so you could see what we were working with right there. So we walked through the whole property. They're giving me backstory about it, and I'm walking through it thinking, this could have great potential. And I want to say we went outside. I want to say this was public water. I don't know. It might have been a septic tank. And I know with septic tanks, it kind of steers some buyers away, but I cannot remember. I think it was well and septic. So we discussed that and everything was fine. And I think their price point they told me there was around $50,000 for that home, right? So I was like, okay, me and Skylar got to do some due diligence, see what repair costs would be, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then, we left. Everything was like that. And then I went back. We were running our numbers, seeing what ARV was, the after repair value for those that don't know. And turns out, I think the house right beside it sold for around 100, 105, around that number. And it was tough because there wasn't really any comparables during this time. So we were struggling with finding really good comps, but talked it over with my mentor Dom, and he was like, just offer as low as possible. So I said, let's just start with like 20. So he was at 50. We know it needs a lot of work and a lot put into it. So we're around that 20 mark. So I called him, hopped on the phone with them, and this was probably like a day later or so. And I was like, hey, after running our numbers and, the inflation, the prices are going up with everything, with the wood, just everything in general, we could do it for this price. He was like, nope, I appreciate that you took the time out to see the property, blah, 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 but nope, we're good, and hung up. I'm like, oh my gosh, did we just fumble the bag? So we didn't get it locked up for 200, right? And it's tough, because like we thought this was a deal, because we got the appointment, we found someone that was interested in selling the property. And then I think it was a day later, me and Skylar were just talking it over, stuff like that. What I think I said, Skylar was like, let's go up a little bit, let's just, go a little bit higher to 35,000. And then I called the guy up. I was like, what I can do, I know your brother, because he had a brother involved as well. So he was like, I know your brother's looking for this higher number as well as you are. But like I said, I know the property needs a lot of work, but the best we can do on this is 35,000. Like I even said, you got to meet us in the middle. We were at 20, we came all the way up to 35. You're at 50, we're right in the middle. And he thought about it. He said, send the contract. So we're like, it's exciting. So he said, send the contract. I have to show it to my attorney, right? So initially we sent the 2-page agreement that, typical wholesalers send, that 2-page agreement. And he saw that and he was not liking it. So I told him, he knew I'm a real estate agent, and I told him I could send our 14-page, traditional real estate agreement. He was like, send that. And then he had his attorney look over both of them, right? And he was saying how he didn't like this in the first contract, but kept going back and forth with both contracts. And mind you, we're dealing with an attorney now, a probate attorney. So it just makes it even more like tougher, because they want to go in depth into every single thing. So then, he finally, was comfortable, and he was like, all right, we're gonna sign on 35. And it's crazy, they didn't sign the real estate 14-page agreement. He signed the 2-page agreement. So it turned out to work out. We put down $100 earnest money deposit. Once he signed, I turned that into the title company to open escrow. And then I called up a buyer of mine that I had. I already knew he was looking to buy more properties within this area. I called him up, and I called up another friend. I had 2 buyers come out to the property at the same time and had them look at it and everything like that. And this actually almost killed the deal, right? So the one that came out there, they were already there before I came to the property. So the seller was there, and then the 2 cash buyers were there. They worked with wholesalers before, but he was like, Stephanie, you know, I didn't know you're still wholesaling, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he said that right in front of the seller. We just kind of blew past that, and I'm just like, all right, you know, let's go see the property. But that could have blown the deal. Luckily, I don't think she knew what wholesaling was or anything like that. I had them walk through the property, and then right when the first cash buyer that came out the property, he was like, Stephanie, like, come here. And I, you know, went outside while the other cash buyer's in the house talking to the seller, and he was like, I want it. And I'm like, all right, well, you know, you gotta wait. The other one's in there. And he was like, I want it right now for this price, or our asking price, because we put it out for 50,000. So we got it under contract for 35, and we put it out for 50,000. And then he was like, I want it for 50. I was like, hold up, I'll give you a call in a little bit. Let me just finish up with this other cash buyer. Once we finished up with the other cash buyer, we walked away. The seller, you know, slowly drove away. And then I was talking it over with him. He was probably around the $36,000 mark. And I was like, you know, there's no way we can do that. So I called up the other cash buyer. I was like, hey, it's yours. You know, I sent over the contract, and it turned out, because I knew how this seller was super skeptical. And I knew if they would have saw that we would make a fee on top of what we got it under contract for, that they would not be with that. So I was like, we gotta double close on this. And for you guys that don't know what double close is, that means when you actually purchase the property and then you sell it a day or an hour later. So instead of sending that cash buyer an assignment contract, I sent him another purchase and sell agreement for that $50,000 price point. And probably, I want to say 3 weeks later, because they were dealing with the probate process and everything like that, that's when we had closing. And we had closing set for, it was like noon for me and the seller, and we closed. I was signing the documents, everything like that. And then an hour later, the cash buyer came in and then closed on the property, and we made a little over $10,500. So that's how the deal went. Super exciting. First deal being a probate deal. And I'm just super thankful. I'm thankful for my mentor, because this really wouldn't have happened without, you know, him telling me to do this and this and this. And there's so much more in-depth detail of like just working with probates. So if you guys do want to, you know, learn the probate process and everything like that, I recommend joining Flip Creators. It's a group my mentor created to help people that are watching my videos, you know, people that are looking to get into real estate wholesaling, but they don't have enough money to pay for that $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 mentorship, where this is only $37 a month and you get your first 7 days free. So if you're looking to get into real estate wholesaling and you want to join a real estate community, as well as get mentorship from my mentor, Dom Summers, just click the link down below for Flip Creators. But like I said, I'm super excited to share that with you guys. The first wholesale deal me and my partner Skylar did, and many more to come. So I am going to continue to document my full-on journey. So make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Go subscribe if you're not subscribed. Turn that bell button on so you guys never miss an upload. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.